All right, guys, here we go. This is Dupree's voter guide for November 4th, 2025. Sorry I didn't get this out a little bit earlier. Here's what we've got. 17 propositions, largest slate since 2003, covering property taxes, water, education, judicial reform, all those types of things. It's pretty simple. All of these propositions do have some form of bipartisan support, if that makes you feel any better about what you're about to vote on. 8 propositions have clear bipartisan support. 4 lean Republican and had some Democratic support, and 5 were mostly GOP driven. But as a whole, you can say all 17 had some form of bipartisan support. For that reason, frankly, many others, some personal to me, I'll just give you the bottom line up front. I'm voting yes on all 17. Okay, so about 14 I'm a full yes on. 1 or 2 I've got buyer beware. 1 I'm for with caution. But if that's all you need, you can kind of stop watching right now. But if you want to learn a little bit more about it, I'll lean in here and kind of walk through all 17 propositions. But I'll tell you, 4 or 5 Democratic think tanks would say I'm out on. There's maybe 4 or 5 that the most conservative think tanks would say I'm out on. So maybe it comes as no surprise I fall somewhere in the middle. Generally, I have a reason for each of those, and happy to walk you through those. And frankly, if you disagree, love that. That's great. Go for it. This is more just trying to give some explanation. Maybe it creates discussion amongst you and others, but this is just a reason to give you some education going into that so you know what you're voting on November 4th. Okay, 17 props. I'm going to try and do it in like 5 minutes, and we'll go quick. Proposition 1, workforce college funding. You probably didn't even know we have something called Texas State Technical College. It's a 2-year university. It's basically it's a trade school, and it's for. I'm on the Workforce Solutions Board. I see the need for plumbers, welders, linemen, blue-collar workforce, upskilling those types of individuals. This is a fund that helps support that idea. So I'm for it. Proposition 2, this bans the capital gains tax. It basically prohibits Texas from ever creating a capital gains tax. Dems say it favors the wealthy. Republicans say it favors wealth creators. I don't know. I'm just for it because I think it makes good sense. Proposition 3, bail reform. Basically requires judges to deny bail in certain violent felony cases. I think that's a worthwhile thing, especially in domestic violence cases. So I am for this. Proposition 4, water infrastructure. Texas has got a giant water issue, both urban and rural issue for sure. This allocates $1 billion annually for water supply, pipes, flood control, conservation, all those types of things. So I'm 100% for this. Frankly, I think it should be $5 billion. Okay, Proposition 5. Animal feed exemption. Yes, that is on the state constitution. However, even though whatever. Yes, it's on the state constitution. Small relief for ranch and ag businesses. I'm for ranch and ag businesses, so I'm in. Proposition 6, ban securities taxes. This prevents Texas from taxing stock trades. So for all you traders out there, I see this as pro-business and probably pro-retirement for those who are into that kind of thing. So I'm for it. Proposition 7. This is a veterans spouse exemption. So spouses, veterans who've passed away, or fallen veterans. This is just kind of a simple answer to honor the families of the fallen. So I am for this. Proposition 8, banning an inheritance tax. Prevents Texas from ever imposing an estate or inheritance tax. Generally, if the tax doesn't exist now, I don't think we should add it later. So I think I'm for this. Proposition 9, business inventory and equipment exemption. Exempts up to $125,000 of business inventory equipment from property taxes. Generally, if it's business friendly or if it reduces red tape and supports growth, I'm for it. That's why I am for Proposition 9. Proposition 10, fire destroyed homes. So this basically temporarily exempts property taxes on homes that have been destroyed by fire. So if you think about what happened in the Palisades in California, if that were ever to happen here, I just don't think families should face tax bills when their homes are burned down. So I am for this. Proposition 11, elderly or disabled exemption. It basically gives ad valorem school tax exemptions for elderly disabled homeowners. Some would say, hey, this has to be paid out of surplus. What if there's not a surplus? Yes, that might be an issue. But again, big scheme of things, I'm supportive of this just because of the mercy that's, I think, required there. Prop 12, Judicial Conduct Commission overhaul. So this basically just changes membership and powers of the commission, disciplining judges. I don't know, a short version, if a judge is indicted, he should be able to be suspended. Frankly, I think that should be the case with almost anybody in office, but we're not talking about that right now. It could be politicized, so again, buyer beware there, but that's just something to be aware of. I'm for it. Proposition 13, homestead exemption. Goes from 100 to 140K. It's just relief for property owners in Texas. Proposition 14, dementia research. This is basically a $3 billion fund that supports dementia research, Alzheimer's research, Parkinson's research. Dementia has touched my family. I think Texas should lead here. Some would say, well, is the state really equipped to deploy $3 billion? Maybe not. Maybe not the best at it, but I do think at this scale, it has a chance to be a magnet for research for this particular disease. And I think Texas has got a chance to lead there. So Proposition 15, codifying parental rights. So this basically says that parents must remain the primary decision makers on behalf of their children. I am 1,000% for that. I saw the terrible effects of when that broke the other way in California, and I do not want to see that happen here. Prop 16, clarifying citizenship for voting. It basically says, only U.S. citizens can vote in Texas. I don't know. Common sense to me, you need to be a citizen to be able to vote. Critics would say it's redundant. I'm like, okay, well, belt and suspenders, no big deal. Proposition 17, border security exemption. This basically exempts property value increases tied to border security infrastructure. What does that mean? If they build a wall across your ranch, then you should not have to pay taxes as that goes. I don't know. Seems to make sense to me too. So bottom line, I'm for all of them. 17, 4. 14, I'm for without reservation. 2 or 3 buyer bewares or with caution. And I would, again, all represent some form of bipartisan consensus. Others clearly do break more closely along party lines, but all are worth your time. So take your kids on November 4th, go vote with them, give them a little civics lesson, and then we'll be a better state for it. So there you go. That is the November 2025 Constitutional Propositions Voters Guide.